The Dhamma Teaching, September 5th, 1979. The Dhamma teaching is the most perfect, flawless, and ideal teaching, unequaled by any other teaching in both the means and the end results. This is because the teacher is the Lord Buddha, who is the supreme embodiment of excellence that all sentient beings can take up as their role model and follow with their utmost ability. His diligence, endurance, resourcefulness, and the ability to discipline himself and his noble disciples rank above all other human beings. In striving, he kept on exerting himself until he accomplished his task. In enduring, he sometimes fell unconscious, but he never relented in his endeavoring, but excelled in every task until he became enlightened. His enlightenment made it possible for others to become enlightened as well. All they have to do is follow his Dhamma teaching, which is suitable for the four distinct groups of his followers: bhikkhus or monks, bhikkhunis or nuns, samarneras or novices, ubasakas or laymen, and ubasikas or laywomen. The term sasada means supreme teacher, who is wise in the way of teaching. He knows what kind of Dhamma is suitable for what type of person. He doesn't teach anything which is beyond the ability of his students to practice and achieve. Teaching monks differs from teaching lay people and the general public. However, he taught the lay people who practiced like the monks the same way he taught the monks, with Dhamma geared specifically to suit each individual practitioner's ability and attainment. He would explain until his students were fully satisfied and had their doubts cleared away. Apart from teaching human beings, he also taught the Devatas, or spiritual beings. Have you seen any Devata? Or is it a matter of choosing what you want to believe based on your opinion, which is contaminated with the kilesas, Dhamma, and asava? There are internal and external phenomena, coarse and subtle. The phenomena that the Lord Buddha taught ranged from coarse to very subtle. There are coarse phenomena, such as visual objects, and there are very subtle phenomena, like the spiritual beings that we have heard and read about from the scriptures. The three divisions of the Bali Canon, the suttas or discourses, the Vinaya or the monastic discipline, and the Abhidhamma or higher Dhamma are all true. There isn't a single chapter or verse in the Bali Canon that is not true. Thus, it can't be said that some of the teachings of the Supreme Teacher are true and some are false. This is because the Lord Buddha teaches only the truth. If you're going to trust someone, you can completely trust the Lord Buddha. When the Lord Buddha taught the Devatas, he also instructed them in the Dhamma suitable to their abilities and attainments, just like the way he taught human beings, because Dhamma is universal. Whether it's a Brahma, an inhabitant of the non-sensual heavens of form or formlessness, a Devata, or a human being, they are just the citta with varying degrees of subtlety or coarseness. It's the citta that takes up these various forms of existence. Some life forms are less morally developed than others, such as animals. The Lord Buddha, therefore, couldn't teach the animals, because they couldn't distinguish right from wrong, good from evil, heaven from hell, or the kilesas, Dhamma, and asava. Although they are committing these deeds daily, they don't know the morals of their actions. But with human beings, they can distinguish and learn the various aspects of Dhamma from the Bali Canon. Although not everyone is capable of doing this, there are some who can study and practice the Dhamma from the three divisions of the Bali Canon, which contain the complete and faithful collection of the Lord Buddha's teaching. Everything in the suttas, the Vinaya, and the Abhidhamma is true. It's the citta that will study, practice, and experience the Dhamma. Whilst some cittas can perceive various paranormal phenomena due to their ability of extrasensory perception, some cittas can only perceive phenomena through the senses. For this reason, the Lord Buddha has to select the appropriate Dhamma to teach each citta based on its ability and attainment. The Dhamma teaching is therefore an ideal teaching for the world to follow in every aspect, such as the application of diligent effort, endurance, perseverance, austerity, thrift, mindfulness, resolve, discipline, and wisdom for mental development and mental stability. It is suitable for both the monks and the laity, because Dhamma is a universal teaching that benefits everyone. As a monk, you should diligently practice for the elimination of the kilesas, Dhamma, and asava, with the support of your endurance and perseverance. You should concentrate your satipanya to search for the kilesas which are deeply embedded within your citta so that they can be totally eliminated. This task can be accomplished with persistent satipanya and diligent effort, which a layman also can apply in his daily activity. It will make him calm, peaceful, and stable, not drifting or making a mess. There is no other teaching as perfect and ideal as the Lord Buddha's teaching that will benefit the monks and the laity, especially the Dhamma practitioners who follow it faithfully. What did the Lord Buddha teach? What is a monk's duty? What is the purpose of going forth? These are the primary questions that you should ask. During the Lord Buddha's time, people went forth for the purpose of eliminating the kilesas which are harmful to the citta and cause it to take up birth in the various realms of existence. It's in the citta where you'll find good and evil, right and wrong, happiness and suffering. That's why the Lord Buddha taught you to dig deeply into your citta, which is the most important object. When the body dies, it decomposes, but the citta doesn't decompose. The citta doesn't die, but you don't and won't know this unless you practice. That is why the Lord Buddha exhorted you to practice. What is the purpose of taking up the robe? It's for eliminating the kilesas with the Dhamma practice. What is the duty of a monk? During the Lord Buddha's time, a monk's duty was to practice walking and sitting meditation. If you're resolute in destroying the kilesas due to your perception of the harm of the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, you have to develop sati, panya, saddha, and virya to full potential. They must be developed concurrently. If the citta is constantly nourished, how can it not develop? It will definitely grow and excel. The cittas of the Lord Buddha and his noble disciples were also immersed in the kilesas for a long time, like your citta. Their kilesas and your kilesas are the same kilesas. How did they manage to get rid of their kilesas and achieve freedom from dukkha and become the world's refuge? The term Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, I take refuge in the Buddha, doesn't refer to just the Buddha of our era. It refers to all the Buddhas who became enlightened and taught Dhamma to the world. The term Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi, I take refuge in the Dhamma, refers to the absolute truth discovered by all the Buddhas. Dhamma is the natural principle that has always existed since time immemorial. The term Sanghaṃ saranang gacchāmi, I take refuge in the Sangha, refers not only to the noble disciples of our era, but to all the noble disciples of all eras who have risen from the cesspool of the kilesas, tanha, and asava. How did they manage to cleanse themselves to become noble ones and refuges for all sentient beings? It was due to their diligent effort. There are 4 essential mental faculties that the Lord Buddha exhorted you to develop. The first is chanda, which is delight or taking pleasure in your duty of eliminating the kilesas. Virya is persistence or diligence. Whether it is a physical or mental task, there must always be diligent effort and perseverance. Citta is attentiveness, being observant of your task. If you pay close attention to your task, it will flow smoothly and flawlessly. Vimamsa is extremely important because it is panya. You must be thorough and circumspect with your task, physical or mental, and especially with the practice of mental development. You have to develop panya to its fullest potential by always contemplating the 3 characteristics of all phenomena, which are aniccaṃ, dukkhaṃ, and anatta. You must see them in this light in order to release your attachments or upadana, which are deeply embedded within your citta, and you must liberate your citta from dukkha. Therefore, these 4 mental faculties are absolutely vital. You must not be heedless, but must always be vigilant and mindful. You should never think that the kilesas and you will ever be good friends. They are like fire. Can you get intimate with fire? If you really investigate, you'll see that they are like fire. That is why the Lord Buddha called them ragaggina, dosaggina, and mohaggina, or the fires of lust, hatred, and delusion. If they are not harmful, why would he call them fire? The Lord Buddha never lied nor exaggerated. He only spoke the truth. The problem with you is that you never look at the truth, but always deny the truth unknowingly. This is the work of the kilesas, which is similar to fire. When you touch the fire, knowingly or not, it will burn you. That is why you have to be very careful and must not expose yourself to the kilesas, because they are your enemy and they are like fire. Wherever you are, whether you're standing, sitting, walking, or lying down, you must always meditate and establish mindfulness because it's your duty. You have to take the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha as your refuge. Ultimately, you have to put your life at stake for the freedom from all dukkha. This is your undertaking. You are abundantly provided with the requisites of living by the lay devotees who have faith in your endeavor and hope to make merit by supporting you. You are not lacking any of these requisites. What is lacking is your resolve and commitment to fight and eliminate the kilesas, tanha, and asava. After you've accomplished your mission, you can then teach others. This is the most important point. If you can't teach yourself, how can you teach others? When you are not yet enlightened, your teaching won't be comprehensive and true. You should only teach after you've become enlightened. Then every aspect of your teaching will be true, and your students will really benefit. This is the way of Dhamma which has never done anybody any harm. It's the kilesas that harm everybody. That's why you have to concentrate all your efforts to destroy them. Whether you're standing, sitting, walking, or lying down, you should always establish mindfulness. Be vigilant and mindful. Sati or mindfulness is crucial for your Dhamma practice. You need Sati to direct your investigation with Panya. Sati and Panya must always work together as a team. The greatness of the Lord Buddha is due to his ability to reveal to others the supreme Dhamma. So when he teaches this Dhamma to the world finds it to be priceless. However, when this Dhamma is heard by immoral listeners, it will appear worthless. You must therefore prepare yourself to be a proper vessel to receive the Lord Buddha's Dhamma by developing Sīla, morality, Samadhi, mental stability, and Panya, wisdom, until achieving enlightenment and Vimutti, freedom from dukkha. You'll then become truly great without the need to have someone to vouch for you. How can you not become truly great after you have acquired this supreme Dhamma? How can your citta, which is always agitated, restless, and confused, find any peace and happiness? It's because the kilesas keep manipulating it to see only trials and tribulations rather than peace and harmony. To you the world appears gloomy and bleak, when in fact it's not so. This is due to your delusion, and that is why it is necessary for you to develop your sati and panya so that you can become wise and intelligent. You should establish samadhi, which is your citta's foundation, and should earnestly and mindfully develop samadhi with the method that is most effective for you. The Dhamma is a serious teaching. The Lord Buddha took the Dhamma very seriously, so why are you fooling around? Is this the way to follow the Lord Buddha? The Lord Buddha seriously practiced and became enlightened. If you playfully practice, you will become foolish. You'll never become enlightened. All that you will acquire are more delusions and deceptions. If you earnestly practice, you'll definitely achieve results. Samadhi isn't beyond your ability. It's the kilesas that agitate your citta by manipulating and inciting it. Therefore, it is necessary to concentrate your sati, panya, saddha, and virya right at the citta and practice relentlessly. How then can your citta become agitated? Sati must force the citta to totally concentrate on the task at hand and forget about everything else, such as life, death, and time. You should only be aware of what you're doing, like repeating a mantra or watching your breath. Don't let your citta think about other things that will agitate it, which will happen if you're absent-minded. You should pretend that at this moment the world doesn't exist, although it actually does exist, by not thinking about it. Let there be only the citta and the meditation object. Then the citta will stay put and will definitely become calm. I have experienced this before. I'm not bragging. I have never seen any undertaking to be as difficult as the practice of mental development. From the start, when I tried to establish some calm and tranquility, I found the citta to be a lot more restless and agitated than a monkey due to the influence of the kilesas over the citta. I had to replace the kilesas with the Dhamma so that the Dhamma can become the citta's master, and had to concentrate all my efforts into the practice, sometimes putting my life at stake. If I was going to die, so be it. Having been born, I am destined to die. The same with everybody, whether he or she practices or not. Nobody is exempted from the cemetery. Who can live forever in this world? If I had to die fighting the kilesas, I was ready. It was either I die or become enlightened. When my practice started to home in on the kilesas, I was able to subdue the kilesas and establish calm, as well as making the citta bright and cool. It was an incredibly amazing and wonderful experience that enormously enhanced my faith in the Dhamma teaching, as well as my diligence, forbearance, and perseverance to fight and completely vanquish the kilesas. This is how it will be when you really exert yourself. When it is time to make the citta go into samadhi, you must solely concentrate on developing samadhi. Don't develop panya at this time. When you want to establish calm, you must do only that. If you want to use panya to develop samadhi, then you must investigate the body. This is called going on a kammarthana sightseeing trip. The term kammarthana means the basis of action or task. The most suitable objects for this task are the 32 parts of the body. If you investigate the body, going from top to bottom, having sati or mindfulness directing your investigation, the citta will eventually become still. This is one way to develop samadhi. Now let me tell you how to develop panya. When the citta has gained enough calm, it will be contented, not hankering for anything. You have to direct this calm citta to investigate the various aspects of Dhamma, like the 32 parts of the body. You should investigate your body as well as other people's bodies. You should look for patikula, filthiness, or anicca, dukkha, and anatta, because they are the truth. We all know how filthy the body is. The Lord Buddha did not lie to us, but the kilesas prevent us from seeing the body's filthiness. They are the masters of deception. Is there a person in this body? Look carefully. You have to look the way the Lord Buddha instructs you to look. Is there beauty in this body? It's actually full of filth inside and outside. It's also full of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. But this isn't the picture the kilesas have drawn up, which portrays the body to be beautiful, good-looking, and to be I and mine, which contradicts the Dhamma teaching. The kilesas always contradict the Dhamma teaching. If your thinking and understanding are like this, then you're contradicting the Dhamma. You must turn around your understanding to conform with the Dhamma by seeing the body as filthy or patikula. You must investigate until you see the truth of this filthiness. Then it can be said that you are seeing the truth. You should also investigate the body to see it as anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering, and anatta, the negation of an entity, self, or person in this body, which is just made up of the 4 elements of earth, water, air, and fire. For truly there is no such thing as a self, an animal, or a human being. This is the truth. When you see this truth, the kilesas will disappear from your citta. Your delusion will gradually disappear as the truth gradually appears. First you'll see the truth of patikula, then you'll see the truth of the 4 elements. When the body is just elements, how can you be attached to it? If the body isn't good-looking, how can you be attached to it? It's like excrement along the roadside. Who would dare step on a pile of excrement? This is how you should see the body in order to free your citta from this delusion. The citta will stay clear from the body like you stay clear from a pile of excrement. These are the means of removing the kilesas, which are like thorns that irritate and annoy your citta and prevent you from having any peace and happiness. Although you may think that you're practicing mental development or bhavana, actually you are most of the time making yourself restless and agitated by doing something else. The time when you have any sati or mindfulness is only brief, but the time when you don't have any mindfulness and are being dragged away by the kilesas to do something else must be at least 95% of the time. So how are you going to find any tranquility, happiness, and coolness when 95% of the time belongs to the kilesas and only 5% belongs to the Dhamma? Is this enough to oppose the kilesas? You must therefore develop sati and panya to a very high level. You have to be really earnest with your investigation of the body so that you can see its true nature with your own method of investigation. You must not be lazy when it's time for you to develop panya and just wait for your teacher's advice or expect him to show you all the details of practice. The teacher will only point out the major points. You have to come up with the details using your own sati and panya. Whatever methods of investigation you've devised will be your genuine possession. When you investigate, you will truly see the body's true nature and will eliminate your delusion. The more you truly see, the more your delusion will disappear. When you have completely seen the body's true nature, your attachment to and delusion of the body will be uprooted. The citta will then come inside. This is the investigation of the body. You have to investigate it so that you can see its true nature very clearly. You can investigate your own body or someone else's body. They are the same as long as you investigate for the purpose of uprooting your delusion and for insight. It will always be correct because it's magga, the path. But when you incorrectly investigate your own body or someone else's body, it will be harmful to you. The purpose of your investigation is really crucial. Samma dirti, right views, and samma sankappo, right thoughts, are the components of Panya, which is the Lord Buddha's teaching that is designed for the elimination of the kilesas, attachments, and delusions. When you are skillful in your investigation with Panya of both your own body and other people's bodies, you'll not be deluded by them. So how can the citta become attached to them? The reason why the citta is attached to them is because it is deluded. It doesn't see the body's true nature. Even after you've listened to your teacher, it will be merely imagination. Your citta hasn't yet seen the truth. In other words, the truth hasn't yet penetrated the citta. The only way to experience the truth is to practice mental development. The results that appear will be true knowledge and true insight that will enable the citta to let go. Whatever object you're attached to, for example your body, after you've seen its true nature, you'll let go of it. After you have realized the truth of your body, and you are clearly impressed by the truth of the elements, the truth of particula, and the truth of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, your citta will definitely let go of the attachment to your body. You'll clearly see this without having to ask anybody about it. You'll see the harm of your attachment, and how oppressive and burdensome this attachment has been for you. How then can your citta not relinquish your body? It will definitely let go. Your attachment to your body is now neutralized by your panya and investigation. Your citta will now come inside because it has relinquished your body. You're now liberated from your attachment to your body. Your next targets of investigation are Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana, the four Namakanthas, or the four mental aggregates. There are three kinds of Vedana or feelings: good, bad, and neutral feelings, Sukha, Dukkha, and Upekkha Vedana, which are in the body and the citta. Sanya is memory or recognition. Sankhara is thinking about all sorts of things past, future, and present. Vijnana receives or acknowledges the sense data, like when the visual objects come into contact with the eyes and the sounds come into contact with the ears. When these sense objects disappear, the acknowledgement also disappears. This is Vijnana. They are merely mental phenomena. There is no self or essence in them. Vedana is just Vedana, Sukha is just Sukha, Dukkha is just Dukkha, and neutral feeling is just neutral feeling. There is really no essence in them, they are just phenomena. When you've investigated up to this point, how can your citta not see the truth? It's your deluded citta that keeps thinking that Dukkha Vedana is harmful because it's used to thinking in this manner and making itself miserable. When you've investigated with Panya these three Vedanas, Sukha, Dukkha, and neutral, you'll see that they are anicca, dukkha, and anatta. It's the same with Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. You'll relinquish them, just like you did the body. You'll no longer have any attachment for any body or any feeling, good, bad, or neutral, with the exception of those feelings in the citta that you haven't yet relinquished, which are also good, bad, and neutral feelings. Sanya is memory or recognition. Sankhara is thinking, which continually rises and ceases like flashes of lightning. Vijnana also rises and ceases. It rises just so that it can cease. It doesn't rise for any other purpose and not for any entity, self, people, or animals. It just rises and ceases. What essence is there in any of them? When you've seen their true nature, you'll relinquish them. You'll let go of Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana, which are merely mental phenomena and are not the citta. Although they might appear in the citta, they aren't the same thing. Like men and women who live together, yet you can tell them apart. You'll know beyond any doubt that Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana are not the citta. This is the knowledge that arises from practice, but you have to investigate in the manner that has been discussed here. When you've let go of them, there won't be any attachments left. Destroyed are the paths used by the kilesas, which are the chief culprits that are deeply embedded in the citta. There is now no way for the kilesas to come out of the citta, because they can no longer use Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana as their paths. Neither can they use visual objects, sounds, smells, tastes, and touch, for they have all been destroyed by Panya. Now you can see very clearly that within the citta there is just the citta and the kilesas. The kilesas are no longer attached to Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, or Vinyarna. They used to hide behind these 5 khandhas, claiming them as I and mine. When Sati and Panya have finally rounded up the kilesas into the citta must now be the investigation target for Sati and Panya. You no longer have anything to do with Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vinyarna. However, you still have to use the arising and ceasing of Sankara as the means of getting to the genuine kilesa, which is avidya. At this point, the knowingness will stand out prominently from the khandhas. You'll see this very clearly. This is the time when you'll really get to know the citta. Although avidya is in the citta, you won't know it, because avidya is very subtle, smart, and clever. When you first get to this stage, you won't know that this is avidya if you don't have an enlightened teacher to point avidya out for you. You'll think it's a genuine gold bar when in fact it is not. You'll now become enamored with this citta, which has converged to become extremely bright and magnificent. After you've let go of everything else, you now become attached to the citta and think that the citta is all alone by itself, not knowing that there is a tiger lurking inside it. This tiger is avidya. Even the automatic sati and panya, or mahasati and mahapanya, can still be deceived by avidya's charms, because avidya is the king of the 3 realms of existence. There isn't a single kind of kilesa that can be more subtle and clever than avidya. The coarser manifestations of avidya are the kilesas of lobha, dosa, and moha, greed, hatred, and delusion. Even with these coarser kinds of kilesas, you can be deceived by them. If you were not deceived by them, how could you become so greedy, so hateful, so deluded? This is because you think they are valuable and a natural part of you. For this reason, they are all over the world of samsara. If you know how dangerous and harmful they are to you, then what is the use of being greedy, hateful, and deluded? It's the same with the citta that is being deceived by itself. This deception is on the most subtle level. It is therefore necessary to use panya to investigate this phenomenon, in the same way that you investigated rupa, vedana, sanya, sankara, and vinyarna to see their true nature. You have to observe its activity or movement. If it is sammati, even at the most subtle level, there will still be activity. This activity will expose the very subtle characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta of this very subtle phenomenon. You have to keep on investigating with sati and panya until you fully and clearly see its true nature. When you do, this phenomenon will be completely destroyed. There will be nothing left behind, including the citta's magnificent brightness, bravery, obsession, and attachment. All that remains is the natural knowingness, which is different from the knowingness tainted by avidya. They are as different from one another as the sky is from the earth or stones from diamonds. This will be the final result of your practice. This is the ultimate freedom and the total destruction of the kilesas, the cause of suffering, birth, aging, illness, and death in the various realms of existences. But it's Dhamma that causes you to be born in a higher or a lower realm and to have happiness or sadness. Avidya is the primary cause, and Dhamma is the secondary one. Avidya incites you to make Dhamma. Once you have done Dhamma, you'll have to bear the results of Dhamma, called Dhamma Vibhaka. These are the causes of ceaseless rounds of birth, death, rebirth, and suffering. Like the Lord Buddha and all the Savakas, you have to probe and analyze the citta, because it's the one that takes up birth, aging, illness, and death. Why do you have to wait for them to reveal this truth and teach it to you? Why are you not capable of learning it yourself? If you don't believe in them, who else can you believe in? If you only believe in yourself, you'll remain sinking in the pool of dukkha. When will you ever transcend this pool of dukkha that has birth, aging, illness, and death as its cause? If you don't believe the Lord Buddha, who else can you believe? You have to believe in him by doing the investigation. You will then see clearly the citta's involvement with the past and the future, and with all the things that caused you to take up birth, aging, illness, and death in the various realms of existence. Even if you take up birth in the higher realms of existence, it's still an existence. It's still sammati, or relative truth, that has dukkha embedded within it. The intensity of this dukkha corresponds to the realm of existence. You have to eradicate avidya, the real creator of existence, from the citta with the power of sati and panya. You have to completely eliminate it. Then you'll see for yourself whether you'll have to take up birth and die again or not. You will know this. How did the Lord Buddha get to know it? He got to know it by practicing mental development, not by memorizing the scriptures. He became enlightened by practice. You have to practice until you truly see and know avidya. Then it will be permanently destroyed. How then can there be any more birth or existence when the principal cause of birth has been totally destroyed, as you can see it very clearly with panya? There is nothing more left behind. All that is left is the purified citta. You will also know that you haven't disappeared. How can you disappear when you know? This is a natural principle. This purified citta is the absolute truth. How can you annihilate the purified citta? This is merely speculation. You have to see this absolute truth yourself. The Lord Buddha could teach this absolute truth because he had discovered it. It's not beyond the ability of your citta to also discover this absolute truth. You have to probe and search until you find it. When you do, all of your trials and tribulations will completely vanish. The questions concerning your future, what kind of birth you'll take up, good or bad, will all disappear. As for the present, you know at all times what it is like. You know there isn't any attachment left because all the kilesas have been entirely eliminated. The purified citta is not attached to itself because there are no kilesas left in it. If the citta still has kilesas, it will still have attachment. The intensity of attachment corresponds to the intensity of the kilesas, which will always create attachment. If they are still in the citta, they'll cause the citta to attach to itself. When you have completely eliminated them from the citta, there will be no attachment left. What is left is the purified citta, which is permanently freed from all forms of attachment. This is sandirtiko, or visible here and now, that is constantly challenging you to experience it from the day of the Lord Buddha's enlightenment to the present. The Dhamma is never outdated. It is the Madhyama Pratipāda, the middle way, or the right path to enlightenment, beginning with Samma Dirti and ending with Samma Samadhi. It is sandirtiko, or self-evident. You'll see it yourself because it's inside your citta, and the way to achieve this has already been taught by the Lord Buddha and his noble disciples. This is the core of the Dhamma teaching, the core of practice. You have to practice following this Dhamma teaching, which the Lord Buddha called the Magga, the path to enlightenment, the tool to permanently eliminate dukkha and the kilesas. You must really exert yourself in your practice, and must not relent or be lazy like a pig. The Lord Buddha didn't teach the pigs, and the Dhamma teaching is not pig's feed. The Lord Buddha had to go through fire and hell to become enlightened. He taught the Dhamma so that others could also become enlightened. You should therefore faithfully follow the Dhamma teaching and totally commit yourself to the practice to see if it's true or not. That's all you have to do. The kilesas are sharp and clever. Nothing in this world can be sharper and more clever than the kilesas, but when they dominate you, they make you foolish. That is why they are the world's rulers. It's the kilesas that rule the vartajagga, or the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Don't ever think that it's something else. If you want to see this clearly, you have to dig into your citta in the way that I have just told you. You'll see it in your citta. After the kilesas have been eliminated from your citta, who will be the ruler? There will be no ruler because you've realized absolute freedom. Please, be resolute and earnest with your practice.